have Robert Tellis here. Let's hear it, Robert.
Hi. Well, thank you for having me, Lucette. I really appreciate it. I'm happy to be here today, and I look forward to talking with you today.
Yes, I'm very happy for you to be here also. And Robert here actually is my co-toastmaster at Windjammers, and that's how we met. And Robert tell us, Robert, what you're doing.
So, well, yeah, we did meet at Toastmasters, and that's a lot of fun every morning, every Wednesday morning. We get together, we sit down, we critique each other's speeches. Being in Toastmasters helps us to improve our public speaking, and really we do have fun a lot of the times.
Yes.
But that's what I do for fun. What I do for work is I'm an estate planning attorney. I work at Accolade Law, and what I do is every day I help probate administrators to make sure that they help their families get through these hard times when they lose someone. And beyond that, I'm actually running for office as well. I'm running for the Clark County Public Administrator.
Very nice, yes. I am looking forward to hear all about that. So how did you get started with this, by the way?
So I have been doing probate and estate planning for a few years now. I've had the opportunity to work together with the current public administrator. And he mentioned that he was retiring and that, he wanted to make sure that the office was going to be run by someone who was capable of doing it.
Of course.
Right. And so it certainly gave me some inspiration, and I decided that I was going to go ahead and try to run for the public administrator. I think that I'm the most qualified candidate, being that I'm a probate attorney. And the funny thing about the public administrator is folks don't know what he does. Really, the title should be the Clark County Probate Administrator.
Yes. Well, the timing is right. You were at the right place at the right time. So there you go. It's great. So what is it that you really plan to do with this position?
So right now the position is, it's one where there's quite a bit of a backlog, right?
Oh.
Unfortunately, he's got about 1,000 cases he's running right now. And he's only got 7 full-time staff members. So he's definitely overloaded. I'm hoping to perhaps, being that I'm a probate attorney, use some of my experience to help maybe institute a few new efficiencies, if I can.
Very good.
And also to take a look and see if there's any way that I can justify perhaps getting a little more help. I would like for this office to, year after year, provide some income for the county.
I see.
Right.
Yes.
There are years where it does and years where it doesn't. Again, that's the hope, is to make sure that it pays for itself and becomes, a good, a consistently good functioning part of government where, again, the county is not afraid to support us at any point, at any time.
Very nice. That is really inspiring too, because you will be helping a lot of families, plus you're helping government.
Yes.
Yes. So you say there's a backlog. I wonder how that happened.
Well, I think it's pretty tough. Again, being that they're short-staffed.
I see.
And there have been cuts. There were cuts in staff at a certain point, and I think maybe they hadn't recovered from that yet. But again, I think that once I get in the office, I can really drill down to that minute level and see what, if anything else, there is I can do to make sure that we are running at the best efficiency possible.
Absolutely, because you say you are the most qualified person for the job, and I have my full trust in you. And I'm sure our community feels that same way too.
Yes, thank you.
And so in the future, how do you plan to go? I know you said may hire some more people.
That's the goal, is to ask, to make sure that the county puts their full support behind the office and understands that, that we need a little more help right now to make sure that we can become, again, a better operating, division of the government, and ultimately support the government's budget.
Right. So you said there's a backlog right now. So if somebody needs your services, how long would it be before things start?
So it really depends, right? It really depends on the value of the estate. Because probate is And for a lot of folks who don't know, probate is a process where someone dies
Mm-hmm.
and they have legal title to something in their name.
Yes.
In order to get it transferred into the names of their family members, you have to go through a court process.
I see.
And so what happens when someone dies in Clark County alone and there's no known family, the family, the Clark County coroner refers the case to the public administrator,
I see.
because the public administrator takes over the assets, holds them, secures them, and begins the process of probate while they try to find more family if they can.
Yes. So this comes up too with my business being in the insurance industry, because people should be taking care of all these probates. So what do you recommend for families to do?
Well, I think most folks, if you're listening, that you want to make sure that, listening or watching, of course, you want to make sure that you do your estate plan. Especially if you're living here alone in Las Vegas,
Yes.
your family is out of town. There are a lot of folks who live here who don't want to ever leave here.
Yes, that's
They
right.
love their family, they love visiting their family, but Vegas is home.
That's right.
And sometimes, again, if you haven't created that plan, people don't know how to find your family. So
Yes.
you want to make sure and create even a simple will.
Yes.
Wills go to probate, which if you've got $100,000 or less, it's probably not a big deal. I do advocate that folks who have more than that in assets, that they get a trust.
Yes.
That way you can avoid probate, avoid attorney's fees, avoid the delay for your family. But again, if nothing else, you make sure you at least have a will. Because with a will, folks will know that, we found this will, we see that these family members are listed as beneficiaries.
Yes.
And that way your estate won't go to the public administrator.
That's right. So, folks out there, let's take a little break and we'll come back and talk more about Robert's plans for your future. We're back, everyone. Now let's hear Robert here. How did you get to Las Vegas? And let's hear some of your background.
Absolutely, sounds good. So I grew up in El Paso, Texas. That's way west Texas, just across the border from Mexico. Spent all of my years there. After my dad got back from the Air Force, we actually traveled through Texas. I was born in Biloxi, Mississippi, on base, and my little brother was born in Fort Worth.
I see.
And then we came back to El Paso, and so that's where I spent the rest of my teenage years. Went off to Colorado after that, spent several years there, and then I moved out this way to be closer to my mom, who had moved here in the meantime.
I see.
And here's where I met my wife, and we've got right now it's me, my wife, and my 3 children, and our 2 dogs.
You have 3 children.
Yes.
Let me hear more about that family.
Yeah, so I've got my son who's 12 years old.
I see.
I've got a 10-year-old daughter, and then I've got another 7-year-old daughter as well.
Wow, challenging years your children have.
Well, they still love me a lot. That's
Of
really
course.
cool. The 12-year-old, he's starting to get in those teenage years, so
Yes.
he's more about his friends right now. I mean, he's still a good part of the family, but I'm just worried about down the road whether or not he's going to want to hang out with Dad anymore. But
Well,
we'll get there.
if they go their way and then they come back, believe me, I know.
That's
My
the important part.
26-year-old is coming around now, so yes, and that's exciting. So you have family, and so this project of yours, you want to be a public administrator. How do you plan to? Let's hear again your future plans. How do you see yourself in the future as a public administrator?
Well, so what I want, should I be elected, and we're trying very hard to make sure that the word is spread, because again, I think one of the biggest challenges here is to make sure people know that, again, the Clark County Public Administrator is a probate administrator, and that's why I'm so qualified. None of the other candidates have any probate experience.
Oh, there you go.
But so again, doing mailers, I think after the primary, because I'm not in a primary, I'm going to be on the general election ballot only.
I see. When is that?
And so that's in November.
I see.
Right,
Yes.
so I've got a bit of time to make sure that I
Yes.
prepare and make sure the word gets spread. But after the primaries, I'll get my signs out and really make
Awesome.
that push. Because right now, I don't know if you've seen on the Las Vegas roads, if you look to the sides, you'll see a lot of signage. I don't know if there's any room for my signs right now, but once the primaries are over, a lot of those signs are going to come down.
That's right. Yeah, no, and you're here, and we will invite you again in the future. And in the meantime, how would our community be able to get in touch with you right now?
The best way to find out more about me is to go to my website. It's www.rob4nv.com. And I am actually endorsed by the Clark County Firefighters. I'm endorsed by 2 veterans organizations.
Oh, wow.
And I'm endorsed by the Clark County Public Administrator himself.
So there you go. What else can we ask for, right, Robert? Yes, so it looks very promising.
Yeah, I
And
think so.
yes, and I'm very happy for you. And like I said, we will invite you again, and let's have that word out there for everyone to know about your plans and helping the community, because we are all about helping the community here.
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
Robert, thank you very much for coming, and I am looking forward to see you again soon in our The Losette Presley Show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Be grateful out there.